to the 2015 Spring and Summer Secret Soap series. Today is soap number 3, and I'm not doing a high top. That's right, I decided that today, because of the embeds that I'm going to be putting on top, that a high top would actually sort of take away from the embeds and probably wouldn't keep them in place. So I'm going to have to do a flat top for the first time in a really long time. I actually made a ginger lime soap that wasn't a high top recently, and I really enjoyed it. It was about 2 years since I had created a soap that didn't have like frosting piping stuff on top, so it was actually a really nice change. So I think I'm going to be making a few more of those in the future, and today is going to be one of them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the mixture for this soap is actually a new recipe that I'm trying out. Has a lot of cocoa butter in it. And here goes the lye water. Quite a bit more liquid than I usually use. Like I said, I'm kind of trying out a new recipe here. I like making new recipes, I really do, and you know, it's really unfortunate because every time you make a new recipe you have to make new labels for the recipe, and it's a lot more time consuming, but totally worth it in my opinion. The mixture is very yellow, and because it's so yellow I'm going to try to add a little bit more titanium dioxide to it. Perfect, now it's sort of a cream color, so I'm going to add the fragrance oil now, which I cannot show you. The fragrance oil smells divine. This is one of my favorite fragrances. I just want to make sure that's good and incorporated. And now to this, I'm going to add all these soap shavings. This part always takes a while for me because you always have to get them good and incorporated. Aren't those fun? They're all in sort of the same color scheme. And I shave these a little thicker than I normally do. I'm hopeful that the color will remain very, I guess bigger chunks rather, instead of having those little tiny slivers. I'm hoping they'll be a little more chunky when I cut it. Okay, so I've stirred this really good. I'm going to pour it in the mold, and I'm not going to show you that part because it's just obviously just one big pour, but I will show you how I will be decorating the top. Now for the interesting part, which is putting the decorations on. So I'm going to start with the bigger ones. Granted, as I'm putting these on, I realize that they are not the best nor the prettiest of their kind. I was experimenting. I had never made these before, really. Not with the good tips and such. So it was sort of a new thing, and I had all these new piping styles sort of that I wanted to try out. And of course with this theme, it fitted just perfectly. So I started to try out all the different piping styles, and then my mixture started getting thick and I was like, ah! So I was hurrying, trying to get all the stuff in, and it kind of got thick, and so all these little things started to get thick, and oh well, that's what happens sometimes. But yes, definitely not my best attempt there, but it was definitely an experience. I very much learned from it, which perfect for me, and I still ended up getting a few pretty ones out of it. And I got to experiment, which was kind of the whole point. I really wanted to get to see what different piping tips could do. I had never really used the ones that my uncle had given me quite yet, so it was just a good experiment all around. I really like these, the one that I just put in. Those were my favorites for sure. Y'all can see now, I'm sure, why I decided to go with no piping for this. It just doesn't need piping, and I think that the little decorations would have fallen off, and that would have been bad. Now that I've kind of stuck all the primary things there on top, I'm going to take these little piped bits of green and sort of stick them in where I think they need to go. Fill up all the extra room. So this is what one of the soap lobes looks like now that it's finished, and then I'm going to do the other one and show you what it looks like when I've completed it. This is what the end result looks like. I have, of course, placed all of the embeds in and put a little bit of Snowflake Sparkle Mica from Nurture Soap Supplies on top, and then I sprayed with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. So I am really pleased. This is exactly what it's supposed to look like. No mess ups or anything, so I'm really happy with that, and I will be back tomorrow to cut it. And hello everybody, we are back. It's actually 48 hours, not 24 hours, since I poured this. It needed a little extra time to sit. Unmolded really well. I was really happy with that, and I just used some of the soap at the sink. It was really creamy and I really liked it. So I really like this recipe, and we'll probably be using it again in the near future. I have also started cutting only 16 bars out of my loaves instead of 17. That way I can have some samples to give away. I really like to give samples with my order, but it isn't always possible because I don't really make them. But now I've started having a few snippets off the edge, as Miss Celine from I Am Handmade would call them. So this is what it looks like on the inside. I really like the bigger chunks of confetti. I think that that is a better way to do it, to grate bigger pieces of confetti so they show up a little better. Oh man, it smells so good. So good. I do like the big flowers here. They weren't the best. I know that some people have really mastered that flower piping, but I haven't done it yet. So, not the best, but I'm really happy with how they look on top of the soap. I think that adds a lot, and again, I'm really glad that I ended up doing the flat top instead of trying to do a high top and stick all of the embeds on there. Just would have been overkill. Man, I cannot get over how strong this scent is. Woo! I hope it lasts. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the making and cutting of Secret Soap number 3. If you have, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and maybe even leave me a comment below. And I cannot wait to see what your guesses are. We're getting really close to the end. And until next time, bye for now, and here is your next clue.